She's Wendy Williams. She's candid, she's funny, and one thing's for sure, she's hard to ignore. Her talk show, The Wendy Williams Show, is entering its 5th season, one of the most popular programs in daytime. Are you shocked that it's been this successful for this long?
It's amazing. Yes, I am. Yes.
Because you were like me, you came from radio, right?
Came from radio.
And how did you get this whole gig to begin with?
The phone rang. The phone rang in 2007, the fall of 2007. It was Marcus and Ira Bernstein. They are Debmar Mercury. They're the ones who produced the show. And their parent company is Lionsgate. So they wanted to do this thing called a 6-week sneak peek, and they wanted to do it with me, a talk show. The 6 weeks.
Sneak peek?
Yeah, now a lot of people are doing it. Kris Jenner just came off doing it. Bethany got her talk show from doing it, you know.
They try it out, They
try it for 6 weeks or 4 weeks during the summer. Within a year of Mort and I were calling, about 8 months later, next thing you know, I'm on TV on 4 Fox stations, LA, New York, Dallas, and Detroit. And I maintained my radio position while doing the 6-week sneak peek because I was having a good time in radio, almost 25 years. I was making a decent living. I was very, very happy. I had my family. And all of a sudden, the talk show came along.
The rest is history. You gave up the radio, right? Took me 17 years to give. Well, I always did both. When I started as a kid, I was 22, I did radio and then television. I always loved both.
Men are always allowed to do both because men don't maintain the household. I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying.
You putting me down?
I'm putting women up. You see, even after a long day on the set where my guest is Larry King and I've got tons of hot topics and Ask Wendy, I gotta get home and make sure that the food is gathered for dinner, make sure the dishwasher is emptied or empty it myself. I mean, even if we don't do all the work in our house, we're the house managers.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
How did that start?
How you doing? Okay. That's the way you actually say it. How you doing? Okay.
That's the way you say it?
Yes. We used to have a gay character in our morning show many, many years ago. I did a morning show in Philadelphia, and the gay character would come in, and all the heterosexual, smelly guys I worked with, they wouldn't know how to address this gay character. And I'm like, would you talk to the man? It's not going to make you gay. How you doing, Shantae? And then we just started from there. Now I keep it going because I feel as though that's a friendly way to walk in the room. It breaks up the crowd so that people don't think I'm there for evil. I'm there for good because I'm a very tall woman.
I want to talk about the book in a little while and a lot of other things.
Okay.
All right. Why has this show worked? If you can take a step back and look at it objectively.
Honestly, the host.
Really?
Yes. Does that sound big-headed?
No, it's your show.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you why. I left radio, a perfectly great career, to fully concentrate on this TV show. I am surrounded by a great staff of people who I listen to with open ears. I'm one of the executive producers as well, so, you know.
Your husband is involved.
My husband's an executive producer. He's also my manager. And then there's David Perler, and most recently a fellow by the name of Jason. But I will tell you that as a woman of a particular age, sometimes it's very hard for us to open our heads to new ideas, you know, because I'll say no all day. Instead, now I say no. Convince me why it should be yes. So I'm a host that's willing to listen to criticism, good and bad, but I'm also a host. I'm very comfortable on the camera. I'm not scared to be laughed at, fall, or cry.
Secret is there's no secret.
There is no secret. You have to be yourself, and a good talk show host is not created. She's born.
Do you check ratings every day? Do you look how you're syndicated? You could be strong in Detroit, weak in Memphis, okay in Toledo.
Yeah, no, I leave those people who are obsessed with the ratings. You know, my team, they're always obsessed and everything. But I'm running this TV race with blinders on, the way I rode my radio race. I'm a thoroughbred, and I don't need to look to the left or right. I'm competing against myself.
Did you start in television as an anchor in Philadelphia? What was your deal there?
No, I'm from Jersey, and I went to college in Boston, and I knew from the time I was in 6th grade that I wanted to be either a newscaster or a radio personality, and I wanted to matriculate in Boston, and I graduated from Northeastern University. I worked on the college radio station, which is where I started newscasting. And then I realized that I don't think being a newscaster is exactly in the wheelhouse for how I want to be as a woman. You know, even back then, I had bit of flamboyancy with me, which really wouldn't be acceptable at the news desk. Although nowadays newscasters are like showgirls.
I know.
You know, but back in the day, that's not how they were. And I didn't think I was cool enough for radio. But I got an internship with a fellow by the name of Matt Siegel at KISS 108 in Boston. He's still there at KISS. And I've since been back since having my talk show to thank him.
Was Oprah like an inspiration? Or did you
Oprah was an inspiration. But, you know, Oprah's first couple of years on TV, Oprah started in 1986. You see, I graduated from college in 86. And then I was so busy moving around from the Virgin Islands to D.C. I worked afternoon shifts. I was so busy hustling that I really wasn't watching a lot of TV during the day for her first maybe 2 or 3 years. But yes, of course, Oprah was a great inspiration, as well as in my earlier years, Dinah Shore and Merv Griffin and Mike Douglas. And I even as a young girl in 3rd and 2nd grade, Larry, I remember adoring talk shows.
But you're always yourself, you know that.
Yeah.
You're not Dinah Shore and you're not Oprah.
No.
We're coming back with more of the great Wendy, where she's terrific. What's the secret to her success? Why do some shows struggle?
Oh.
She stays on top. That's next. We're back with the wonderful Wendy Williams. I've been on her show a few times. Always great coming there.
Can I tell you, you're one of my favorite guests?
Thank you.
And I'm not saying that just because I'm sitting here with you. I was a little apprehensive about meeting you at first because I said, Larry's a legend.
Larry the legend.
He might not understand the ooh, ooh. You know my audience. Everybody's colorful. They're a bit, we're very outspoken.
No kidding.
And I'm a newer person on the block, even though I'm going into my 5th season. I know when you come to New York, you'll go to Ripa and you'll go to The View and you'll talk to your old friend Barbara Walters, but you were open to new things.
Oh, anytime with you.
And when you came that first time, I could not believe how much fun you were. And then you came back a second time, and now I'm here with you. But yeah.
All right, let's discuss some of those. My friend Anderson Cooper, 1 year he had. Well, they carried over a second, canceled him.
Yeah.
Jeff Probst, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And a good host. Why? Can you measure this?
You know, the public is so fickle. You know, there's so many great shows that are on TV that get canceled right away. I'm still wondering what happened to GCB. I'm still wondering what happened to the Playboy Club and Pan Am. Remember those shows on ABC? Like 3 episodes and they're gone. You know, Larry, there is no rhyme or reason. You can say, well, it's a full market. There are too many talk shows, but long after Probst, new shows are coming on. Long after, you know, Kris Jenner's 6-week sneak peek, next summer there'll be somebody else. I don't know the rhyme or reason. If you think too hard about it, I might ruin my own mojo.
Why do you think it knocked off the soaps?
I don't think people have time to pay attention at episodic, you know, where one episode runs into the next during the day. You know, the economy is bad and people are working hard, and I believe, it is my belief, that people want lighter fare when it comes to daytime TV.
How do you approach competition?
With a closed mouth and open ears. What they saying?
How you doing?
I love competition, and I do believe that there's room for everybody. It's
big world.
It's just how long everybody stays there. But there are 1,000 channels now on TV, so there's room someplace for everybody. We don't have to be crabs in a barrel with only 10 channels now.
But people think also that because you can do one thing well, you can do another. That's not necessarily true.
Lies. This is the holy grail of my career, though. I mean, there's nothing higher career-wise than doing a talk show with your own name.
Hey, what's wrong with it? What's the hot topic of late?
I mean, people are still talking about Miley Cyrus twerking. People are talking about Lamar Odom. Is he on drugs? Will Chloe stay with him? What will happen to his Clippers career?
Why do we talk about, this puzzles me, and I have to subject to, you can't do television and not talk about it. However, it does puzzle me as to why this...
Hot topics are so juicy.
Lamar Odom could lead over Syria.
Yeah.
Explain that to me. I like Lamar,
but he could lead over Syria because, as embarrassing as it might be to a lot of people, many people care about pop culture and the nonsense.
Why?
Because it's light conversation that often people need because they might not be good communicators. Do you realize how special it is for people like me and you? We possess something. We can go to a room by ourselves and totally start a conversation with anybody. I don't know if that's how you are, but that's how I am.
Oh, of course.
I'm not scared to get on a stage in front of thousands of people.
Me too.
And I don't need an entourage to walk into a room and talk to anybody about anything. And these hot topics are a very common, non-threatening thing to mention. You go to a dinner party and you talk about Syria. Well, now you have political opinions. There's some people like me. I don't like to talk my politics in public. That's kitchen table talk because that's how I grew up. But to say, you know, how about that Miley Cyrus? Well, now we got a conversation.
That's watercolor stuff.
It's watercolor stuff, but that's how you get a conversation going. A light conversation leads to a deeper one. Do you know how many people out there are socially inept? Brilliant people that make lots of money. Brilliant people that do wonderful things. To not be able to communicate has got to be crippling. People who sweat when at the thought of going to a party. People who sweat at the thought of giving, the presentation at a meeting.
The biggest fear in America is public speaking. It's funny. To us, it's a joke.
I know.
And it's white-collar crime.
Yes.
It is. I mean, it's a joke.
You know what I got on my bucket list for this season? I want to do stand-up.
Oh, I've been doing that for years. I love it. You go out, they pay you to stand there and tell stories.
Yeah.
You try it.
I'm going to try it. I turned 50 this season 5. And so the show was asking me, make a list of stuff that you've always wanted to do. I said, well, I want to do stand-up.
By the way, how's it like working with your husband?
I love it. It doesn't work for everybody, but everybody's got to know their roles.
When we come back, we'll ask about the book, Wendy, Straight Up Advice for All the Drama of Your Life. All the drama?
Well.
Wow. We'll be right back. Wendy Williams extended for another year, an enormous success in daytime television, before that in radio. In the world of authorship, she appeared in Chicago on the Broadway stage. Try to ask about that in a little while. But tell me about Wendy. The book says, straight up advice for all the dreams in your life.
Well, drama. It's called Ask Wendy, and it happens to be a segment that I do on my talk show. I used to do it on my radio show as well for many, many years, and it's simply, you ask me a question, a conundrum in your life, whether it's your sex life, your dating life, dealing with your mother, dealing with the PTA. You ask me, I'm not a licensed professional, but I am a woman with an opinion. And sometimes it's best to get opinions from a stranger than from your favorite 3 girlfriends who are always there to keep drilling it in your head that you were having this problem.
I don't mean to be serious, but is there a danger in that you say to someone, well, get divorced?
No, because I say, well, since you're asking Wendy, I'm going to give you, the best opinion that I can. Sometimes a divorce is needed.
So you'll say that?
Yes. And I would also walk her through it. Don't do it knee-jerk. You have to start plotting and planning. A divorce, from the time you execute it to the time you think about it, there should be at least 6 months to a year in between. To
be good that when you do stuff like this, and you have to have had some problems yourself.
Yes, I have.
What did you have?
Well, I was married for 5 months, and I had to plot an escape from my ex-husband. So, that was many, many years ago, but believe me, he was trying to give me a problem like we were married for 5 years. I had a substance abuse problem.
At what age?
From about, 20 to 30.
10 years?
Yes, and I was making great money. I had no college loans. My parents bought me a car for my college graduation. I was making great money. I fell into, a nice radio career a little bit early on. I was in New York, young and pretty New York City girl, staying out all night. You know how it is in radio. Hanging out is what you do for a living. It was the best. Coke was cheap. I was very independent. I did not have to get high with a bunch of friends. I always had my own money and never had to go broke off of it.
How did you break it?
I ended up around my 30th birthday when I met Kevin. I didn't know that I wanted to get married again, but I knew that I wanted better in my life, and I was very grateful that I had never been busted speeding on the West Side Highway, with a crack pipe in the ashtray. My mom and dad are still alive, and I wanted better for myself. So I just stopped. I was one of those fortunate people. I did not go to rehab, and I've never looked back. No, and I've never looked back.
You also discussed body image. Did you have a problem?
Yeah. I mean, I still have a problem, I guess, to a certain extent. You know, I'm always, food is a big part of my life, denying myself of it, indulging in it, going to the gym and working it off, checking angles in the mirror. Yes, Larry, you know, I come from an average size family. My height comes from my paternal grandmother, and she was passed away. So I never had any women to speak to about what it's like to be 5'8" by the time I hit 8th grade. I've never been to a prom. I always was cute in the face, just a little loose in the waist. You know what I mean? Plus being tall. See, when you're a tall girl, they expect two things of you. You're either a supermodel or a basketball player. And I'm no athlete, and I certainly, you know, I'm not a model. So, I mean, the best thing for me to do was to have this talk show, because now, you know, I feel like I'm not tall for no reason.
So the book contains questions from real people?
Yes. My real Wendy watchers, everything, sex. There's the one that comes to my mind, this married couple, they married for like 10 or 12 years or something, and he wants to have a threesome, and she's thinking about letting it go down.
And you say?
No!
Why not?
Because this is what happens. As a woman, and not all women are like this, Larry, but as a woman, we are soft and pink. We can try to play hard and play hardball in the boardroom and everything like that. But when it comes to love, we can take a drive-by once or twice, 3 times. But after you look in his eyes, and all you need is that one hard day at work and lonely night, and they got you. Look, I submit to being a girl. You know.
Gotcha. How long did you enjoy doing Chicago?
Yes.
How long did you do it?
7 weeks. The worst part was preparing, because I had to remember all those lines. And 2 songs I had to sing.
Were you ever a singer?
No.
Why did they cast you?
Well, because Matron Mama Morton, they thought that I'd be perfect for that role.
You could also sell tickets.
I sell tickets. I was doing the talk show and and Chicago at the same time. So it was a really busy time this summer.
So you had to learn your lines. When did you rehearse? You had to do your show.
Yeah.
You didn't take off from the show, right?
No, never that.
So you ran and did the Broadway.
I was an absentee mom. Thank God he finished with flying colors, all good grades. You know, I was an absentee mom, kind of an absentee wife.
What was opening night like for you? Now, this is different. This isn't Wendy winging it. This is a script.
No.
And a major show.
Yeah, at a major show. I'm surprised I didn't cry. My mom and dad were there. My dad is 83 and my mom is 79. So my mom and dad were there. Of course, my husband and my son, a whole bunch of Wendy staffers. And then we had a party up the street at you know, one of the watering holes. How was it? Magical. When I opened the stage door, I couldn't believe there were actually people out there. There were actually people out there.
And you had to sing.
2 songs. I sang this other song named, called Class with one of the 2 major actresses in it. So, you know, you don't want to mess her up by being bad. So that was a lot of pressure.
It was a great role, though, wasn't it?
Larry.
She runs the prison.
Larry, if they called me, I'd do it again. I had the best summer. It really was a wonderful experience. And guess what else I got out of that? Oh, my gosh. One of the head writers at the ABC sitcom Neighbors was in the audience and saw me playing Mama, I didn't know this, and called up my office for me to come out and play a role on the show. So I did that just a couple of weeks ago.
What did you play, a mama?
Pretty much a sassy black woman who owns a hair salon in Jersey. That's a mama.
So you're now an actress.
Yes, I'm a hackstress.
And a singer.
I'm a singer.
What's next? What would you like to do you haven't done?
Well, gee, I told you the stand-up. See, but to me, can I just say, nothing moves, again, without the talk show. So the talk show, and you might think that I'm pulling from the low fruit on the tree. I know you're a very ambitious man. Hosting a talk show, my own show, is the best thing ever.
Beats work.
Yes. You know, but what I like to do, I don't know, the stand-up, I guess.
Wendy Williams, the enormously successful and deservedly so. Wendy Williams, coming up, we'll put her in the hot seat.
Uh-oh.
Don't go away. We're back with Wendy Williams, going 5th season, right?
5th season.
We have some social media questions for you. Did You Call on Twitter wants to know, what were some of the biggest challenges you had to overcome to get where you are now?
Not being intimidated by anyone scrutinizing who Wendy is.
ABBA in the MM asks, how do you keep your audacity to be bold in the face of adversity?
Because I just do. And it hasn't come overnight. As you know, you get more confident with every year of your life.
Of course.
So bold is second nature to me now.
You are a bold person. Wendy's team on Instagram wants to know, is that your team?
I don't know.
What will your 7th book be about?
Oh, I'm working on it right now. I actually have the manuscript in my bag.
What is it about?
It is a sexy romantic novel. And it will be coming out, well, I have to turn it in like 2 weeks.
What's the title?
There's no title yet.
Bianca James on Google Plus asks, what do you think of Miley Cyrus, and would you want to interview her?
I would want to interview her because I like interviewing all kinds of people. But what do I think of her? Her behavior, not much. Her music, I've actually heard some songs from her album. She's a very talented girl. But that behavior, no bueno.
One more of that, and then we'll do If You Only Knew. Don Lenklos on Instagram, what was your dream guest?
I don't have one.
Okay, honest. Now we do If You Only Knew. It's our version of Hot Seat.
Okay.
First kiss.
I was in 8th grade. I visited my sister at Tufts University, and I met a boy there at a party. Don't even remember his name. He took me to the Amtrak station and then leaned over ever so gently and kissed my lips. There was only a little bit of tongue, but I think he thought I was like 17, because remember, I was big, and I was only 13.
Wow. You don't know his
College
name?
boy.
You don't know whatever happened to him?
No!
Probably fell on the tracks. Anyway, moment you knew you'd made it.
When I got asked to be on Broadway, at the same time my talk show was renewed. They both happened like within a 2-week period. Renewed till 2017, the Wendy show, and Wendy, would you be on Broadway? I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Who intimidates you?
Nobody.
Guilty pleasure.
Food. I love salami, cheese, liverwurst, anything in the grocery store. Tissues. I didn't grow up in our house, and I didn't grow up poor, but I grew up with frugal parents. Tissues were reserved for company. If you had to blow your nose, you used toilet paper. And orange juice made from the concentrate was always really watered down, so it would stretch longer. And we were only allowed to drink 4 ounces in the morning. So now the grocery store is my wonderland. When I was growing up, I was always on a diet. I was being picked at. Wendy, you can't have seconds. And now I go to the grocery store. It's the one place I couldn't tell you what costs what. I throw it in.
What's the everyday food you hate?
Gee.
I know mine. Eggs. I hate eggs.
Oh, see, I love eggs.
I hate eggs. What do you hate? Everyday food.
There's nothing that I hate. Okra. Anything slimy. Okra.
Yeah, okra.
Yeah.
What makes you laugh every time?
How you doing? It breaks me up every time.
Biggest pet peeve?
I just came from one of those restaurants that shall remain nameless.
What happened?
When a chef thinks that they're so good that they don't have to put salt and pepper shakers on the table, number one. Okay? And number two, I can't stand camera phones.
In a restaurant?
Anywhere.
Yeah, what happens to them? What do people... I've never taken one. What do people do with those?
They put them on their Facebook. They annoy you. I mean, I'd rather have a conversation with somebody than a picture.
I've got a street corner named after me in Los Angeles. If you Larry King Square, Cahuenga and Sunset.
Lucky you.
If you could have something named after you, what would it be?
A rest stop on the Jersey Turnpike. It's so funny that you and I are on that same path. Yeah. That would be I am from New Jersey.
You could get that, a rest stop.
A rest stop.
What can't you live without?
A diet.
Person whose opinion matters the most to you?
My husband's.
Best advice you ever got?
From my father. Find a career that you love, and the money and happiness will follow. A humble man, an educator, and he is so right.
He taught?
He taught, he professed, he principled. My mom and dad both. They're smart people.
If God exists, what would you ask him or her?
For eternal health for me and my family. I love to live. I want to live till I'm 125.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd rather live past that.
Yeah.
You know what I want the obit to read?
What?
My obit? Oldest man who ever lived. Passed away today. Yeah, caught by a jealous husband. Took 7 days to wipe the smile off. What do you want your legacy to be? You're 50 years old. What do you want talking legacy?
I want people to remember my ease of entertainment and of how I entertain, and always smile. If I can make you smile once in your day, I would have done my job.
You're a great broad.
Thank you.
Look at those rings. Put those rings up in a minute.
Thank you. Oh, Larry, please. Big girls need big rings. Otherwise, how will I look with small accessories?
Yeah, you have that big ring.
Yes.
And we're signaling ships off the Jersey Shore. Thanks to my guest, Wendy Williams. Catch the 5th season of The Wendy Williams Show. It premieres September 16th. And you can tweet me at King's Things and Wendy at Wendy Williams. Let us know how you're doing. See you next time.